Alright, so here's a video to show how to do this lid upgrade. I will get a proper update video out soonish. I'm just finishing up the current outstanding orders. And there are a couple of other tasks I want to do before then, so it'll probably take a month or so. Anyway, these parts will upgrade all the previous packs to the current version. Basically, there was a weakness in this fuse holder, and one of the fuses in my power wall melted without actually breaking the connection, which isn't good. So I decided to solder the fuse element in place, and this is what that looks like. So I'm making these parts available to all my previous customers. They're free, but you've got to message me to get them. It's everything you need to do this upgrade, plus some spares, excluding the nuts and bolts to save on postage. So you're going to have to take them out of your old packs. So to remove this lid, I'm going to take some flush cutters and clip away at these solder joints. These are good flush cutters, by the way. So let's nibble at this. So that's loose. And on this side I'm cutting flush against the surface of the copper, if you can see that. Some of my first customers may find their trays are melted a bit next to the bus bar. My soldering technique was not so good when I first started shipping these. It's much better now. So we should clean up the end of the bus bars a bit. So once you got that looking pretty decent, we can put that aside and harvest the nuts and the bolts from the lid. You can just unscrew these first ones by hand. But to remove these half nuts, you need the spanner. It fits around both the nut and the plastic rings. And then we can just pop these bolts out. And you can just discard the lid now. We've got everything we need. And this assembly is pretty easy to figure out. The bent over ring lug goes in the thin slot, and this is the negative side. So grab the half nut with the black plastic ring and screw that on. And this only has to be finger tight. I found if you tighten it fully at this stage, it makes the soldering job more difficult, as the nut and the bolt saps heat from the ring lug, and you have to hold your soldering iron on the joint for longer. So for the positive side, we'll take the fuse element and stick that in the slot, and then the clipped ring lug, which goes on top of the fuse element. Something I should mention here is that the half nuts aren't symmetrical, so you should put them in the plastic rings with the text facing up to get proper contact with the ring lugs. Now we need to take one of these squares of silicone heat shrink and slip that behind the fuse element. And then push down on the fuse while retightening the bolt. So you can put the lid on like this. If you line it up right, it should just click on. And then that's ready to be soldered. So the iron's hot. Just need to put a tiny bit of solder on it. And yeah, as soon as it flows onto the fuse element, that's good. So the bus bar needs a little more time with the heat. And then you can sweep your iron back and forth until it flows. Same again for the negative side. I'm just using a tiny bit of solder to wet the ring lug. And again, the bus bar needs a bit more time to heat up. And then you can just feed more solder while sweeping the iron back and forth. And you may have some random bits that need scraping off. And if you really want, you can clean this up a bit. And well into optional territory here, you can take a bit of red electrical tape and decorate the positive side with it. And I put the tray into the sleeve before tightening up the bolts, as it kind of helps to hold it. Okay, so look at this. the ring leg rotated as I tightened up the nut. You need to make sure that this gets stuck in the slot on top of the fuse element. So yeah, I'll undo this and reposition the lug. Okay, that looks like it's in the slot now. You can tighten this up and it shouldn't slip out of place. And you don't need to worry about this issue on the negative side. And finally, we'll put the big bolts on. And there you go. This upgrade is complete.